Hi guys, and welcome back to Alistair Davies Golf. Today's video is a product test, and it's not a paid endorsement at all. It's my true reflections on the hanger training aid. Now, if you've watched some of my videos in the past, you'll know I quite like a kind of nice, flat, stable left wrist. Now this device, which fits onto the grip here, pretty much promotes that throughout the whole of the golf swing. So I was keen to try this to see if this would help my players, and in particular help my golf swing too. With my own golf swing, I have a tendency to get the club a little bit cross-line. I tend to, because of that, then the reaction to that, I tend to be a little bit flicky through the ball. So this device, in theory, will help those two things. So what it is a device that attaches to both ends of the grip, and it runs basically parallel to the shaft. And the idea is basically at the top of the backswing, you would have contact with this, with your forearm, so that you would encourage the left wrist. And you're trying to match, obviously, this club face they have on the device with your left wrist also. So the ideal world would be at the top of the backswing, we'd have this pretty much matched up and parallel. And as we go through impact, we'd want to feel that we still have contact with this through impact, and we'd get this flat left wrist as we go through the ball, and it also will encourage us to rotate the forearm a little bit too correctly, which is exactly what I'd want to see. The other thing it will encourage is as we come down, we can start to feel a little bit this kind of revving, as I'd call it, with the wrist, or flexion of the wrist as we start down, to get that golf club again laying down and keeping the club facing what we call a nice square or positive position, which most golfers would struggle to do that. They'd have the club face too open and they'd looking to be swiping across the golf ball. So my thoughts on it really, I think I like it. The only thing I would say as a small negative, I'd like this collar to be slightly smaller at the top, because I feel I have to grip down the club a little bit lower than I would do normally in order to take my grip as normal. The material, I think if it was our rubber, would be a bit softer, but then you might not feel it as much in your skin, which is good to do, because when you feel it on your skin, it gives you that feedback that I'd want. So there's positives and negatives to that. Let's make a few swings and see how it looks and feels. So it definitely feels different, which is good, because again, I want my swing to be different. I want it to change. Let's try a ball. It felt quite artificial, but looking, you know, because I've already tested this briefly in the studio, but looking at my swing on video is definitely more on line at the top than I'd want to see. The other thing I quite like it for is if we do some little kind of impact shots. Again, feel of this presses into the hanger here. And then we go through, keep the hand and arm in contact with it there for a good flat wrist on the way through. So let's just try one of those little half swings. That felt a little bit easier than the full swing, and that gave me some nice positive feedback and ground interaction with the ball, because it felt I could maintain shaft lean a little bit better through the ball and stop the unwanted wrist extension and flipping action that I don't want to see in my golf swing or in any of my students' golf swings. So, final thoughts really on the hanger. I like the way it makes me feel in my golf swing. I like the way it makes me gives me feedback as I swing. And the best use of things like this is to hit, say, 10 balls with it, and then do every other ball with it. So you'd have it on your 7-iron and hit your 6-iron in between. That's the best way of getting some retention of the field into your golf swing. I certainly like the way it feels, I like the way it starts to change my swing shape at the top, which is a real positive thing for me because I'm a cross liner. So if you are a cross liner and you want to help fix that fault, it'll help get your forearm and wrist in line with each other better at the top, which is a really, really good thing. It's very subtle on the downswing how you might feel how your wrist would work, but you can feel it if you go nice and slowly. And through impact, you can definitely feel it a lot. So it can actually encourage a lot of the right things we'd want to see with the wrist-arm relationship in the golf swing. So it's a thumbs up from me. I really like this training aid. And go and give it a try. Check them out online. The Hanger Club. So, hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, please click like down below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I've got regular content coming every week on a multitude of subjects. I'd also welcome you to post some comments down below, especially of videos you'd like me to cover in the future. You know, I'd love to get back to you with a video on what you would like to hear. And thank you for watching.